Hello everyone, thank you for viewing my channel here on YouTube. My name is Ivana and I'm a personal consultant who specializes in help to tall girls and women who suffer with self-acceptance, low self-esteem and don't realize their inner value. I'd like to dedicate this video to a topic that's relevant to question tall people get asked quite often. The question is, how tall are you? Even though the question sounds to be quite innocent, and it is, there is a few things around it that makes the question quite harmful, especially when you ask someone tall with low self-esteem. So firstly, I'd like to point out that males get asked that question less often than females do. The reason behind it is that male population is taller than female population. In Europe, for example, the average male's height is 178 centimeters, whereas females' average height is 168 centimeters. The second reason, from my point of view, is that women are easier approachable than males do. I find that society still respects males more than females. So the people tend to ask or approach women easier and more often than males. I was wondering, and that's probably a question to discussion, what height do you consider to be classified as a tall girl? So please write down in comments what height you consider for a girl as being tall. I'm really curious about it because my perception of tall girl might be very different from yours. So please write down in comments. I've been asked how tall I am quite often. I'm not saying it's on daily basis, but trust me, it's happening pretty frequently. I've been wondering why people need to know the answer. Why do they need to know the actual number? What's the purpose or what's behind it? You know, like, it's obvious I'm taller than them. So why they actually need to know how many centimeters I owe. But I haven't been able to find out on my own. Even when I had discussions with my tall friends or people in my surrounding, we couldn't really realize what's behind it until I listened to a few discussions about different topic, but the key point of them was that people really like to quantify. They like to compare. So obviously, how to compare people better way than by numbers. So people do tend to like statistics. And once someone in their surrounding might be a bit tall, and they meet someone who is, say, about the same height or might be taller, there are people who are curious whether the stranger on the street is taller than the person they know. I personally find questioning the actual number quite insignificant and meaningless. However, people are different, and obviously some might find it very interesting. Anyway, I realized the fact that people compare themselves to others or people between each other is one of those reasons why they need to know the number. But trust me, they don't. It's not important after all. If there is a person listening to me and watching my video who is also tall, gets asked this question very often, I probably like to tell them a few things. Firstly, you don't need to answer the question if you are not feeling comfortable about it. The question itself, it's not harmful. However, it really depends on a few factors that might affect the way you respond or if you decide to respond at all. Firstly, it's about who is asking you. Is it a stranger on the street you just saw and you're never gonna see ever again? Or is it someone, also a stranger, but you might meet him or her a few times, time to time? For example, you've been traveling by the same public transport every morning or once a week or so, and you happen to talk to them or they happen to talk to you for whatever reason, time to time. Or if it's someone from your environment who you might meet quite frequently, such as a new colleague at your workplace. The second factor that affects the way you answer could be where you are asked that question. For example, if it's in a public where you are surrounded by a lot of strangers, or if it's in a closer environment, such as at the party, where it's just a few people, or if it's just face-to-face, two of you. The third factor is how you get approached, how you get asked. Firstly, it could be just the question is sort of like spat out unexpectedly and suddenly. The person might not even greet you, but can approach you, coming to you and suddenly ask, "How tall are you?" That happens quite often, unfortunately. People don't know how to approach you. If they are really curious about your height, they don't actually think the way they express themselves, how they present themselves. So this could be one of those ways that puts you off answering that question. Whereas there are other people who actually know how to approach you. They come to you, they say, for example, a nice compliment about your height. They might say, "You're beautifully tall. I was wondering how tall are you?" Or "Don't you mind me asking you how tall you are?" And so on. Again, they don't actually need to know the number, but it's definitely different how you get approached. If it's out of blue, "How tall are you?" Or, as I said in the second case, nicely and beautifully being asked. And also depends on the tone of their voice. So even though society finds not answering a question as being rude, I am really stressing that better than feeling uncomfortable about the question and answering just for the sake that's considered being polite, do not answer. You can ignore the question, you can walk away. There are other ways how to get away from the person that makes you uncomfortable. I'd like to take the opportunity and tell the society that's very important how you approach tall people with the question about their height. If you happen to have this question about getting the number of their height, please be very mindful the way you ask them, because even though the question itself is harmless, the way how you approach the person can be quite harmful, especially to those people who have self-esteem quite low and also have troubles to accept themselves the way they are because the society. So if you happen to be curious about the number, just be careful and think about how to approach the person nicely. As I mentioned before, one of those examples is to actually say nice compliment, or even saying, I like your height, how tall are you? Or I was wondering how tall you are. I really like your height, or whatever. Something like it makes such a big difference. And also, as I also kind of mentioned, it's nice to be greeted at the first place. So just approaching the person without saying hello comes across a little bit rude as well. Anyway, the other thing you might not realize is that people do tend to ask tall people for height, but they don't ask obese people for their weight. Why is that? Think about it. Do you approach a fat person and asking for their weight? I know it's not the same, but it's pretty much similar, because it comes to the fact you're asking about physical quantity. So that's probably all I wanted to say in this video. If you have any other questions, or you might have any comments, some insights and your own findings, please share them with me and write about them in the comments below this video. If you like my video on this topic, please give me thumbs up, so I know I can do similar videos and you would appreciate them. And you're also welcome to subscribe my channel. So that's all for now. I am looking forward to do another video for you next time, and I wish you all the best in New Year 2022. Bye for now.